Well, that was an intro, right? And obviously, I don't know if this is the only Marshall plugin you need, but it's definitely the only plugin I need. Okay, let's go through the plugin. I'm gonna go through the bad boy of it, so they are all sold separately. They are all awesome, and I will do videos of all of them. So there's older JMP from 70s, then my bad boy, and modern JVM 4-channel head. We're gonna focus to the one and only, the bad boy on this video. And I must say, I'm so excited that you finally have this and I finally have this. I've actually used this plugin on forthcoming CYHRA single. You know, it's amazing. I mean, we worked, or they worked. I was just a tester. Like, now it's the feel is the same. Great, everything cool. You know, for I don't know, several months. Okay, let's go through to the plugin now. It's very simple, but you know. It's as filthy as the real deal. So, what do we have here? Power knob, on and off, and it's just your DI, and you know, it lights nicely. This pedal, it's this one. This is the first overdrive I ever bought. Back in the early 90s. The second pedal in general that I bought, my first one was Bass Agent 2 Heavy Metal, and that's the pedal with my go-to settings. Level around 4 p.m, drive around 8 a.m, tone somewhere around noon. But it's this actual one. This is I don't know, I guess it's made in Japan, but honestly they're all the same. Yeah, so that's the SD on, SD off. And it's just like the bad boy. Then we engage I'm gonna call it SD, but you know, for copyright reasons, it's pedal. But just that you know, it's this one. Then there's volume. This is, because bad boy is kind of unique. There is master volume, but it's mainly, it's like on and off. So it's either there's nothing, or then it's full blast. You turn the bad boy's master up to a certain point, the power tubes blow up. So, and the preamp is kind of like, well, this is exactly like the amp. So let me take off the pedal, and I'll show you, because this isn't like your usual ADA. So yeah, it's fairly quiet here, like the real amp. Quiet, clean and quiet. It's kind of like volume and preamp volume gain. Strange. This is the amount of gain that the bad boy has. So it's a bit more than on your typical Aiden, but it's not mudded, because it runs just so hot. And there was some technical things what amp techs had told me which went above my pay grade, but there is something, but there's not like a gain mod or whatever. There's this big Finnish transformer, I don't even remember the name, and something to do with many things why it is like it is. But so it gets this fuzzy, furry, lots of low and just like this. The power tube. relamp. So where I put it, my favorite spot is kind of like 7, hair below 7, and it's exactly like that on this plugin. You know, it's here, listen, where it just zzz, a little bit over, start to compress more and becomes furrier. So 6.8, that's my, you know, I have the volume here, it's you know, hair below 7. So yeah, and then now it's a bit, then when you kick the SD, fucking hell. Yes. And then you have your, you know, you can tweak your input and output levels. I have them zeroed. And then your pan. So how I record with this one, you know, because now the latency is like, let's see, 0.3 milliseconds, you know, with my Pro Tools Carbon, which is non-existent. And then when I record with this one, so I'm only recording in the Pro Tools the DI, and then I'm monitoring this, because this is now on my desktop. I'm screen recording my Mac's desktop. So when I'm tracking a left guitar, rhythm guitar, I do this. Then when that's done, you know, there's a track with the plugin on, I engage the plugin, great. Then let's record the right guitar. And then I can monitor myself, and again, then when I'm done, I'll activate the plugin that is, this plugin that is on that track, so I'm monitoring with 0 latency. Obviously with the Carbon, you can record with 0 latency with the AX DSP plugins. This is not AX DSP, but this does the job. You can have this on your desktop, monitor through this, and your session can be how big, whatever, you know, buffer size, doesn't matter. Great. And then, you know, when I play lead, pan sender, effects on. Great. Let's check out the effects. Let's put the effects on. So there's reverb and delay. The reverb is kind of like this nice room. You know, a little bit off, and then we turn it on. Obviously you can make it like a huge hall. But that's not what I do. If and when I use reverb, it's more like a room microphone kinda. It's too loud still. Let's put that to 20. And small room works fine. 20. Great. Let's bypass it. And then check out the delay. So there's your usual delay time. And it's ping pong now. What kind of, where I have this set when I track it, it's 450. And the level is about 30. And then the feedback is your how many repeats. So I have it kind of like 30, 30, just a little bit, you know. And then this, you can sync this for the tempo of your song in your DAW. Now it's not synced because it's not on my DAW and I want it to be synced. 450 is great general overall delay. And then ping pong off, it's just a normal kind of like, you know, straight delay. And when we put a ping pong, cool. Let's go back to this, and then now the are kind of like pointed, the delays, you know, da da da. I want to make them smoother, so I engage the reverb. And now it's this just kind of, you know, big, nice, you know. Let's close this pedal off. Let's do some kind of clean sounds. You know, we just roll down the volume. Great. SD back on, FX muted, and then we have 3 caps. So these 3 caps are pretty much like my caps. This modern cab, it's very similar to my Marshall vintage cab with Marshall vintages. So that intro song, the official Bokren, so that was written by me and played by me. I programmed the drums and everything. Yes, Bokren, just he mixed that. Okay, cabinet. So yeah, modern cab, kind of like my Marshall vintage cab. And then this vintage cab, this is really close to my Marshall 1960 BX cab with greenback. And since I'm out of tune, let's check out the tuner. You can obviously mute this, so you're not, you know, disturbing you, your bandmates, or, you know, whoever. I'm not disturbing you. Yeah, it was a bit low, the E string, as I did quite a heavy bends. Great. Tuner works amazingly. So yeah, cabinet 1. greenbacks, more upper mid bite, a little bit less mids like on the V30, great. Then a cabinet 3, this is the smoothest, most mids, this is really close to my Mesa Boogie oversized cab with V30. Nice, smoother top, very good for leads. So 3 awesome cabinets, and then you can load your own IR, or then if you wanna choose to use no cab and use some other external IR loader, you can do that also. Settings, you know, there's your, you know, you put your input, output, in my case it's portable carbon, input channel 1, 2 output channels, so the stereo delays work, sample rate 40, this is non-existent. I mean, it's the, I guess this depends how powerful the computer is, but you know, it's like playing with the bad boy. Cool, all right, then let's listen a song I wrote specifically for this video. I'm gonna go through the production also, just to show that you can create professional sounding, you know, production songs, mixes with Booger stuff. all both great. Trivium drums, bass knob, and the bad boy with BDM 800 Elite knob. So I'll explain how I did this. Like I mentioned, I monitored myself while the bad boy was on the screen on my desktop, and then I just recorded these tracks here, left, right, and the center track was when I feel myself, and then the solo was originally here. I just cut it, put it to this lead track. There's nothing, and then I have the bad boy plugin on this stereo bus / aux, so I can take advantage of the stereo delays. Because if you put this on a mono track, the ping pong, it's not gonna be like this, it's just gonna be like this. So this is on a stereo track, so all the delay, reverb, it's coming from this plugin. And after that, I just had a little bit of a compressor. And now you could hear I made one mistake. The compressor, it brings out everything. And then that was pretty much smooth, like I always use normally. It's just very little bit takes out some stuff. Multiband compressor, which on this lead it's probably not doing anything. Just evening out certain bands. So this is like lows, low, mids, highs. Just evening out it a little bit, like I do with real amps mixing. This is just like real amp. This thing, and then the Pro Q wasn't doing anything. And my basic EQ, if you watch my videos, what I usually do, I'm adding a little bit presence, top, checking out of the bad upper mids, what I think is bad. Out no matter what amp, but this is just because I like to add this with a shelf. What it brings also, it brings out those upper mids, so I'm just gonna compensate this boost by taking the bad stuff out, because I like the shelf because it's smoother than the bell. And then I'm adding some 80 hertz, even though it's just 100, like 1.5 dB. And then even though that is a bell, but I still feel like then the lower mids kinda are a little bit too loud, so I'm just gonna take them out. Like, whoops, this was -1, I think it was -1.4 or something, just a little bit, clear it out. High pass, low pass, 70 hertz, 8K, your usual stuff, and it's the same chain on the lead guitar. Here the compressor is probably doing something to the lower mids. It just clears out, tames down a little bit those palm mutes. And the same thing, same EQ probably. Yeah, just a little bit smoothing it out. Bass is the bass knob, it's 2 tracks. This is kind of like your normal bass. And then this is just the low end. And this is bass knob set to clean. On the normal bass, it's set to dirt. Then I'm taking out everything, past 300 hertz. So it's just low end. And I'm compressing it with Mac DSP's LA2A compressor, both. And then there's a little bit of low control plugin. And then on the bass bus, there is basic EQ. I'm adding a little bit 5-ish K, some 2K, some 1K for peak attack, a little bit low end. Then checking out basically everything above 4K, or it's a smooth curve, so there is more. And then low end cut, and a Fairchild is probably doing like dB. Yeah, so it just kind of glues these 2 different tracks together. And the drums were the Trivium drums. It's my preset, but there's not much you can do with this one, and there's no need. I lowered the kicks like 0.3 dB, and I think I lowered the ride a little bit. added a bit more reverb on tones than this stock processed preset. And the grooves were all from this Alex Bench MIDI pack. I think it was the song Hard Rock 150 BPM, because this song is 158. Oh, then it was this other one. But these beats, they are all, you buy this plugin, you get the same beats. This is great, sounding. What I also did, I just remember, I tuned the kick down like 0.33, whatever it means, pitch. A little bit lower, a little bit more, yeah. That's the mix. So, you can do this the same too, Nowadays, it's not anymore about, oh, I don't have as good gear as you. Well, there's nothing special. If you don't sound good, the only reason is the person who, when you do this, you check the camera, you put it like this. This person is the only reason if you don't sound good. It's not about the gear anymore. That's it. Mix bus. This was just an SSL bus compressor and a Pultec a little bit smiley face. That was it. This was quite a long video. Thanks for watching. I'm really excited about this. This was a long time coming. Finally, it's here. And the other Marshalls that comes with a bundle. If you buy the bundle, so you can buy these, separately. And then if you buy all three, the combined price per amp is a little bit cheaper. And I have an affiliation with Boograin, as many of you probably know, because I use their stuff a lot. Their other amp knobs I've used from countless of real productions and mixes. And the bass knob, when it came out, 100%, all my mixes, my productions, that's the bass sound. If an artist, bass player, has his preferred sound, his pedal, whatever he wants to use, then we will use that obviously too. But every single time I've used also the amp knob, and I'm pretty sure I will use the bad boy plugin and the real amp a lot too. But yeah, check out the link to Boograin's site from the description below. That's my affiliate link. So if you use that, I get a small commission of this plugin, which is cool, much appreciated. Or then you can use my code EUGE230V when you're checking out, and I think you also will get a discount when you use my code or my link, at least from the products that are not discounted at the moment when you purchase them. But everything that what is standard price, you will get a discount. I will get a commission. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully you like this. Check out the plugin. It's awesome. It's officially Euge approved because it's my amp. I was, part of the whole process. Until next time, take care. Bye.